The testament of Zabulon, made to his children at his death, concerning compassion and mercy. The charge that Zabulon gave to his children in the 114th year of his life, 32 years after the decease of Joseph, and he said unto them, Hear ye me, ye sons of Zabulon, a good gift to my father and mother. For when I was begotten, my father was greatly increased in sheep and cattle, by reason of the good luck that he had through the straight rods. I wist not, my children, I wist not that I sinned in those days, for I considered not that I dealt wickedly through ignorance in Joseph's case, and moreover concealed it with my brothers from our father. Howbeit that I wept much for it in secret, for I was sore afraid of my brothers, because they had all conspired together to kill him with the sword that should bewray that secret. Nevertheless, when they would have killed him, I besought them most earnestly with tears, that they would not do such wickedness. For Simeon and Gad came upon Joseph to have killed him, and Joseph, falling upon his knees, said unto them, Have pity upon me, my brethren, have pity upon the bowels of our father Jacob. Lay not your hands upon me to shed innocent blood, for I have not sinned against you. If I have done amiss, nurture me with chastisement, but lay not your hands upon me, for our father Jacob's sake. Upon his saying of these words, I being moved with compassion came and wept, and my heart melted within me, and all the substance of my bowels were loosened upon my soul. And Joseph wept, and I with him, and my heart trembled, and the joints of my body quaked, and I was not able to stand. And when he saw me weeping with him, and them coming towards him to kill him, he fled behind me, and besought them to take pity on him. Then Reuben, stepping in, said, My brethren, let us not kill him, but let us cast him into the dry pit, that our fathers digged and found no water in it. Jehovah suffered not any water to spring up in it, because it should be a safeguard for Joseph. And so they did till they sold him to the Ishmaelites. Thus gave I not consent to the sin against Joseph. But Simeon, Gad, and the other of my brothers, taking money for Joseph, bought shoes with it for themselves, their wives and their children, saying, Let us not eat it, because it is the price of our brother's blood, but let us tread and trample it under our feet, because he said he should reign over us, and we shall see what his dreams will come unto. Therefore, in the scepter of Enoch's law it is written of him that would not raise up seed to his brother, I have loosed Joseph's shoe. For when we came out of Egypt, the young man unbuckled Joseph's shoes at the gate, and so we worshipped Joseph, as if it had been Pharaoh, and not only worshipped him, but also kneeled down before him with blushing. And so we were put to shame before the Egyptians. For afterward the Egyptians heard of all of the ill we had offered and done to Joseph. After the laying of him in the pit, my brothers set meat upon the table to eat. But I, mourning for Joseph, did taste no meat by space of 2 days and 2 nights together. Neither would Judah eat with them, but had an eye unto the pit, because he feared lest Simeon and Gad should step thither and kill him. When they saw I ate nothing, they set me to keep him till he was sold. He was in the pit 3 days and 3 nights without repast, yet he was sold. Reuben, hearing that he was sold in his absence, rent his garments, and wept, saying, How shall I look my father Jacob in the face? And therewithal taking money, he ran after the merchantmen, but he could not find them, for they had left the king's highway, and were gone away apace by by-lanes. And Reuben ate no meat that day. Dan therefore coming unto him said, Weep not, neither be sad for the body, for I wot what we may say unto our father Jacob. We will kill a kid, and stain Joseph's coat with the blood of it, and say unto him, See if this be thy son's coat or no. For when they intended to sell Joseph, they stripped him out of our father's coat, and put upon him an old coat of a bondservant. Simeon had gotten his coat, and would not deliver it us, but was minded to have cut it in pieces with his sword, and he was angry that he was yet alive, and that he had not slain him. Then all my brethren, rising up together, said unto him, Why shouldest not thou give it us, seeing that thou only art the worker of this mischief in Israel? Hereupon he gave it them, and they did as Dan had counseled. And now, my children, I warn you, keep Jehovah's commandments, be merciful to your neighbor, and have inward compassion towards all, not only men but also beasts. For in that respect the Lord blessed me, insomuch that when all my brothers were sick, I escaped without sickness. For Jehovah knoweth every man's intent. Therefore, my children, have compassion in your bowels, because that as any man dealeth with his neighbor, so will Jehovah deal with him. For the children of my brothers fell sick also, and died for Joseph's sake, because their fathers pitied him not. But my children were preserved without sickness, as you know. And while I was upon the sea coast of Canaan, I fell to fishing for my father Jacob, and whereas many others were drowned in the sea, I abode unhurt. I was the first that made a fisher boat to float upon the sea, for Jehovah gave me understanding and wisdom therein, so that I did set up a mast in the boat, and fastened a sail in the midst of the wood, and coasting along the shore in it, I fished for my father's household, till we came into Egypt. And for pity's sake, I gave of my fishing to every stranger that I met with. If there were any foreigner born, or any sick body, or any aged person, I boiled my fish and dressed it well, according to every man's need, and carried it to them, comforting them, and having compassion with them. And therefore Jehovah made me to catch much fish in the sea. For he that giveth his neighbor receiveth the things multiplied of the Lord. 5 years did I fish, giving to every man that I saw, and serving all my father's house sufficiently. In harvest time I fished, and in winter time I fed sheep with my brothers. Now will I tell you what I did. I saw a miserable man in the deep of winter, and having compassion upon him, I stole a garment privily out of my house, and gave it to the naked man. You therefore, my children, take pity indifferently of all men, and show mercy with the things which the Lord giveth you, and deal them abroad to all men with a good heart. And if ye have not wherewith to succor the needy out of hand, yet have compassion on him with inward mercy. I know that my hand forestowed not to give to him that wanted, and to spend the time with him, insomuch that I have walked above 7 furlongs with such a one weeping, and my heart yearned upon him for compassion. You therefore, my children, have earnest and inward mercy towards all that are in misery, that Jehovah, having pity upon you, may be merciful to you likewise. For in the last days Jehovah will send his mercy upon the earth, and wheresoever he findeth inward and hearty mercy, there will he dwell. For look how much mercy man showeth to his neighbor, so much will Jehovah show to him again. Now when we came down into Egypt, Joseph minded not our evil dealing with him, but when he saw me, it made his heart yearn. Whom look ye upon, my children? Learn to forget the harm that is done to you. Love ye one another, and do not one of you think upon another's ill dealing, for that breaketh unity, and displeaseth all kindred, and troubleth the mind. For he that is mindful of harm past hath not the bowels of mercy. Mark the water, and see how it washeth away the sand when the stones and timber are removed asunder. And if a brook be drawn into many streams, the earth sucketh it up, and it cometh to nothing. And so shall you, if you be divided among yourselves. Therefore divide not yourselves into 2 heads, for all things that Jehovah hath created have but one head apiece. He hath given a man 2 shoulders, 2 hands, and 2 feet, but yet do all the members obey one head. I know by the writings of my fathers that in the last days ye shall depart from the Lord, and be divided in Israel, following 2 kings, working all abominations and worshipping all manner of idols. And your enemies shall take you prisoners, and you shall sit among the heathen in all misery, tribulation, and sorrow of mind. And afterward you shall remember the Lord, and repent, and he shall turn you again. For he is merciful and full of compassion, and thinketh not upon the lewdness of the children of men, because they be flesh, and the spirit of error beguiles them in all their doings. After this shall Jehovah himself raise up unto you the light of righteousness, and wholesomeness and mercy are in his punishments. He shall redeem all men from the bondage of Belial, and all the spirits of error shall be trodden down, and he shall turn all nations to the following of him, and ye shall see God in the shape of man. For God hath chosen Jerusalem, and God is his name. Nevertheless, by the wickedness of your words you shall provoke him to wrath, and ye shall be cast off till the time of full finishing. And now, my children, be not sad for my death, neither be ye out of heart because I leave you, for I shall rise up again among you, as a captain in the midst of my tribe, among as many as have kept the law of the Lord, and the commandments of their father Zabulon. But as for the wicked, Jehovah will bring everlasting fire upon them, and destroy them forever. I return to my rest as my fathers have done. Now fear you the Lord your God Jehovah, with all your strength all the days of your life. As he had spoken these words, he fell asleep to his singular benefit, and his sons laid him in a coffin and carried him back again into Hebron, and buried him there with his fathers. The testament of Dan made to his children at his death concerning anger and lying, the copy of Dan, his words which he spake unto them in his last days. In the 125th year of his life, he called his tribe unto him and said, Ye children of Dan, hear my sayings and give heed to the words of your father's mouth. I liked in my heart, and showed in my whole life the thing that is good, for truth joined with right dealing pleaseth Jehovah well. I have hated hurtful things, as lying and anger, because they teach a man all manner of naughtiness. I confess unto you, my children, this day, that I was glad in my heart at the death of Joseph, that true and good man, and rejoiced at the selling of him, because our father loved him more than us. For the spirit of spitefulness and pride said unto me, Thou art his son too, as well as he. And one of the spirits of Belial wrought with me, saying, Take this sword and slay Joseph with it, and when he is dead, thy father shall love thee. This was that spirit of spitefulness which counseled me to devour Joseph, as the leopard devoured a kid. But the God of our father Jacob did not put him into my hands, nor suffer me to find him alone, that I might dispatch 2 scepters in Israel, by committing that wickedness. And now, my children, I tell you of a truth, that unless you keep yourselves from the spirit of lying and wrath, and love truth and long-sufferance, ye shall perish. Wrath is blind, my children, and no wrathful man looketh truth in the face, because that although they were his father and mother, yet doth he hold them all his enemies. Though he be his brother, yet he knoweth him not. Though he be the Lord's prophet, yet obeyeth he him not. Though he be a righteous man, yet he regardeth him not. And though he be his friend, yet he considereth it not. For the spirit of wrath besetteth him with the snares of error, blinding his natural eyes, and dimming the eyes of his mind by falsehood, and giving to him a sight of his own making, and wherein blear eath he his eyes, in hatred of heart. For he giveth him a self-willed heart against his brother, to spite him and envy him. My sons, wrath is mischievous, for it becometh a soul to the soul, and subdueth the body to itself, by overmastering the soul, and giveth power to the body to work all wickedness. And when the soul hath wrought, it justifieth the thing done, because it seeth not. Therefore he that is wrathful, if he be a man of might, had treble power in his anger. One, through the help and furtherance of his servants, another of his riches, wherethrough he persuadeth and overcometh his unrighteousness, and a third of the nature of his own body, which of itself worketh evil. And though he that is angry be a poor man, yet hath he his natural power doubled. For the said spirit doth always further his wickedness, by causing his deeds to be matched with lying. Wherefore consider in the power of wrath how vain it is. For he is in bitter speech, and walketh at Satan's right hand, that his deeds may be wrought in untrustiness and lying. For Satan doth first of all sting him by speech, and when he hath once pricked him forward, he strengthened him by deeds, and troubleth his understanding with bitter nips and losses, and so provoketh his mind to excessive wrath. Therefore when any man speaketh against you, be not moved to anger, and if he praise you as good men, be not puffed up, nor changed into voluptuousness and fierceness of countenance. For when a man heareth a thing that disliketh him, first it tickleth him, and stingeth his mind, so that he thinks he hath just cause to be angry. Now therefore, my children, if ye fall into any loss and hindrance, be not out of patience. For the spirit of impatience maketh men to lust for the thing that is forgone, and to be angry for the want of it. Bear your losses willingly, and be not out of quiet for it. For unquietness engendereth anger and untruth. and it is evil to have a double face. Anger and untruth talk one to another, to trouble the understanding, and when the mind is cumbered with disdain, the Lord departeth from it, and Belial getteth the dominion of it. Therefore, my children, keep the Jehovah's commandments and laws, eschew untruth and hate it, that the Lord may dwell in you, and Belial fly from you. Speak every one of you the truth to his neighbor, that ye fall not willingly into encumbrance, and so shall ye be in quiet, and ye shall have the God of peace. War shall not prevail against you. Love the Lord all your life long, and love ye one another with soothfast heart. For I am sure that in the latter days ye shall depart from the Lord and walk in naughtiness, working the abominations of the Gentiles, and haunting wicked women in all lewdness, by the working of deceitful spirits in you. For I have read in Enoch that Satan is your prince, and that all the spirits of fornication and pride shall ply themselves in laying snares for the children of Dan, to make them sin before the Lord. But my children, stick ye unto Levi, and look upon them in all things. The children of Judah shall snatch away other men's goods like lions through covetousness. For this cause shall ye be led away with them into captivity, and there receive all the plagues of Egypt, and all the malice of the heathen. Whereupon ye shall return to the Lord and obtain mercy, and he shall bring you into his holy place, and proclaim peace to you. The Lord's saving health shall spring up unto you out of the tribes of Judah and Levi. He shall make war against Belial, and give our young men the victory in revengement. He shall deliver the imprisoned souls of the saints from Belial, and turn your unbelieving heart to the Lord, and give everlasting peace to such as call upon him. The saints shall rest in him, and the righteous shall rejoice in the New Jerusalem, which shall glorify Jehovah forever. Jerusalem shall no more be wasted, nor Israel led into captivity, because the Lord shall be conversant among men in the midst of it, and the Holy One of Israel shall reign over you in lowliness and poverty, and he that believeth in him shall certainly reign in heaven. Now, my children, fear the Lord, and beware of Satan and his spirits, and draw near to Jehovah, and to the angel that excuseth you, for he is the mediator between Jehovah and man, to set peace in Israel. He shall stand against the kingdom of the enemy, and therefore will the enemy labor to overthrow all that call upon the Lord. For he knoweth that whensoever Israel decayeth, then shall his enemy's kingdom come to an end. But the said angel shall strengthen Israel, that he come not to an evil end. At that time shall Israel depart from iniquity, and the Lord shall visit such as do his will in all places of Israel, and among the heathen his name shall be the Saviour. Therefore, my children, keep yourselves from all noisome dealing, and put from you wrath and all untruth. Love truth and mildness, and look what you have heard of your father. Deliver it over to your children, that the Father of nations may receive you. For he was soothfast, long-suffering, meek, lowly, and a teacher of Jehovah's law by his own works. Therefore depart from all unrighteousness, that ye may stick to the righteousness of the Lord's law, and bury ye me by my fathers. In saying these things he kissed them, and slept the sleep of the world. And his sons buried him, laying his bones by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And like as Dan had prophesied to them, that they should one day neglect Jehovah's law, and estrange themselves from the offspring and native country of Israel, so came it to pass. The testament of Nephthalim, made to his children at his death, concerning goodness. The copy of Nephthalim's testament, concerning the things which he discoursed at the end of his time, in the 132nd year of his life. At the coming of his children together, in the 7th month, the 4th day of the month, he being yet in good health, commanded a sumptuous feast, and great cheer to be prepared. When he awoke in the morning from sleep, because he was even at death's door, he praised the Lord that had strengthened him, and began to speak to his children in this wise. My children, give ear to Nephthalim, hearken to your father's words. I was born of Bilhah, and because Rachel dealt craftily in putting Bilhah to Jacob in her own stead, and Bilhah was delivered of me in Rachel's lap, therefore was I called Nephthalim. And Rachel loved me, because I was born on her lap, and she kissed me when I was a little one, saying, God, let me see a brother of thine out of mine own womb after thee. By reason whereof, Joseph was like to me in all things, according to Rachel's request. Now my mother Bilhah was the daughter of Rotheus, the brother of Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, and was born the self-same day that Rachel was born. For Rotheus was a Chaldean of Abraham's kindred, a worshipper of Jehovah, freeborn and a nobleman. Howbeit, for as much as he was taken prisoner, Laban bought him, and married him to a bondwoman of his called Eve, who brought him forth a son, whom he named Zeliphus, after the name of the castle wherein he was taken. Afterward she bare Bilhah, calling her new hasty daughter, because she was fond of the dug as soon as she was born. And because I was as swift of foot as a stag, my father Jacob appointed me to run of all messages and errands, and blessed me by the name of Stag. For as the potter knoweth what his vessel shall contain, and tempereth his quantity of clay thereafter, so the Lord maketh a man's body proportionable to the spirit that he will put into it, and fitteth the spirit to the ability of the body, so as there is no inequality or odds betwixt them. For all the Lord's creatures are made by weight, measure, and rule. And as the potter knoweth the use of every of them, to what things they be meetest, so the Lord knoweth the body, how far forth it is fit for goodness, and when it beginneth in evil. For there is not any creature reasonable or unreasonable, which the Lord knoweth not, for he hath created all men after his own image. And as man's strength is, so is his work. As is his will, so is his work. As is his forecast, so is his doing. As is his heart, so is his mouth. As is his eye, so is his sleep. And as is his mind, so is his talk. Either of the law of Jehovah, or of the law of Belial. And look what diversity is between light and darkness, or between sight and hearing. The same diversity is there in man and woman. Neither is it to be said that there is any bitterness in anything, either of the face or of other like things. For Jehovah hath made all things good in their order or degree. He hath set the 5 wits in the head, and knit the head to the neck, and covered it with hair for his glory. Moreover he hath assigned the heart to wisdom, the belly to the avoidance of the stomach, the breast to health, the liver to anger, the gall to bitterness, the spleen to laughter, the kidneys to craftiness, the loins to strength, the ribs to comeliness, the seed to lustiness, and so forth. So, my children, do all things in order, and in the fear of Jehovah, neither do ye anything disorderly in scorn, or out of due season. For thou canst not command the eye to hear, neither canst thou do the works of light in darkness. Therefore haste you not to mar your doings through covetousness, or to beguile your own souls with fond talk, or by holding your peace with a clean heart, ye shall be able to keep the will of Jehovah, and to cast away the will of the devil. The sun, moon, and stars, break not their order, neither break you Jehovah's law in the order of your doings. The Gentiles by going astray, and by forsaking the Lord, have changed their order, and followed stocks and stones and spirits of error. But do you not so, my children, know ye that your only one God, Jehovah, is the Lord in the skies, on the earth, in the sea, and of all creatures? For he is the maker of them. And be not like Sodom, which altereth the order of her nature. Likewise the waters altered the order of their nature, and they whom Jehovah cursed in the flood, making the earth desolate and fruitless for their sakes. My children, I say these things because I have read in the holy writings of Enoch, that you also shall depart from the Lord, and walk in all the wickedness of Sodom. And the Lord shall bring thraldom upon you, so as you shall serve your enemies, and be pinched with all manner of tribulation and pain, till Jehovah consume you every one. And when ye be made few and small, ye shall turn again, and know the Lord your God. And he shall bring you again into your own land, according to his manifold mercy. And it shall come to pass that, when they shall be come into the country of their fathers, they shall forget the Lord again, and deal wickedly, so as the Lord shall scatter them all over the face of the whole earth, till in the mercy of the Lord come a man that poureth out mercy and righteousness upon all men, both far and near. For in the 40th year of my life upon Mount Olivet, toward the east side of Jerusalem, I saw the sun and moon stand still, And behold, Isaac my father's father said to us, Come hither apace, and every one of you take hold according to his strength, for the sun and moon may be caught. And we came running all together, and Levi caught hold of the sun, and Judah, jumping up, caught hold of the moon, and were both of them lifted up with them. And when as Levi became as the sun, a certain young man delivered him 12 boughs of palm tree, and Judah shined as the moon, and 12 beams or rays were under his feet. And Levi and Judah running together beheld one another, and behold, there was a bull upon earth that had great horns, and eagle's wings upon his back, and we would have caught him, but we could not. For Joseph, stepping before us, caught him, and mounted aloft upon him. And behold, there appeared unto us an holy writing, saying, The Assyrians, Medes, Elamites, Gilethites, Chaldees, and Syrians shall hold the scepter of Israel in thraldom. And again, 7 months after, I saw our father Jacob standing in the sea of Jarmah, and us, his sons, with him. And behold, there came a ship sailing by, full of dried fish, without mariner or pilot. The ship was written Jacob. And our father said to us, Let us go to our ship. When we were within it, there arose a sore tempest and a mighty gale of wind. And our father, who held the stern, flew away from us. And then we, being tossed with a storm, were carried into the sea, and our ship was filled with water, and weather-beaten, and torn on all sides. Then Joseph fled out of the boat, and we all were divided upon 12 boards, and Levi and Judah was among us. So were we scattered on all coasts, and Levi, being clad in sackcloth, prayed unto the Lord for us all. As soon as the tempest was allayed, the ship came quickly to land, and behold, our father Jacob came, and we rejoiced all together with one mind. I told my father these 2 dreams, and he said to me, These things must be fulfilled in their time, and Israel must endure many things. Then said he further to me, I believe that Joseph is alive, for I see that the Lord doth always number him with us. And he said, Thou livest, my son Joseph, but yet I see thee not, neither seest thou Jacob that begat thee. Truly he made us to weep at these words of his, and my bowels glowed within me, to bewray unto him that Joseph was sold, but I was afraid of my brothers. Behold, my sons, I have showed you the last times, and all things that shall be done in Israel. You therefore command your children to be helpful unto Levi and Judah. For by Judah shall health and welfare spring up unto Israel, and in him shall Jacob be blessed. For by his scepter shall God appear, and dwell among men upon earth, to save the flock of Israel, and to gather the righteous from among the heathen. My children, if you do well, both men and angels shall praise and bless you, and Jehovah shall be glorified by you among the Gentiles. The devil shall flee from you, the beasts shall stand in awe of you, and the angels shall receive you. For like as if a man bring up his children well, the child giveth and endeavoureth always to be mindful and thankful. So of good works there is a good remembrance with Jehovah. But as for him that doth not good, him shall men and angels curse, and God shall be dishonoured through him among the Gentiles, and the devil shall possess him as a peculiar vessel and instrument, and all beasts shall overmaster him, and the Lord shall hate him. For the commandments of the law are of 2 sorts, and are fulfilled in work. For there is a time for a man to company with his wife, and a time to forbear her, that he may give himself to prayer. There are 2 commandments which breed sin, except they be done in their due order, and so it is in the rest of the commandments. Therefore, be ye wise and skillful in the Lord, knowing the order of his commandments, and the laws of all things, that Jehovah may love you. Having commanded them many other such things, he prayed them to convey his bones to Hebron, and to bury him by his fathers. And so, eating and drinking with a merry heart, he covered his face and died. And Nephthalim's children did all things according as their father had commanded them. The testament of Gad made to his children at his death concerning hatred. The copy of Gad's testament, and of the things that he spake to his children in the 107th year of his life, saying, I was Jacob's 7th son, and skillful and strong in keeping of sheep. I kept the flocks by night, And when there came any lion, leopard, wolf, bear, or other wild beast upon our cattle, I ran to it and killed it. Joseph also did feed sheep, with us about 30 days, who being tender, fell sick by reason of overmuch heat, and went home to Hebron to his father, whom he lodged by himself, because he loved him. And Joseph told our father that the sons of Bilhah wasted his goods at Zilpah, and made havoc of them without the knowledge of Judah and Reuben. For he knew that I had rescued a lamb out of a bear's mouth, and killed the bear, and that because the lamb could not live, which thing grieved me, we killed it also, and eat it. He told our father of it, and our brothers were greatly discontented with his doing, even to the day that he was sold into Egypt, and the spirit of hatred was in me, insomuch as I could not find in my heart to hear Joseph speak, or to see him, because he had rebuked us openly for eating the lamb without Judah. To be short, he made our father believe whatsoever he told him. But now I acknowledge my sin, my children, that I was often in mind to have killed him, for I hated him from my heart, and I was utterly without compassion towards him, and the cause of this my great hatred towards him was his dreams. Therefore I would have devoured him, as an ox eateth up grass from the earth. And for that cause I and Judah sold him to the Ishmaelites for 30 guildens, of the which we kept away 10 privily, and showed the other 20 to our brethren, and so covetousness persuaded me to wish his death. But the God of our fathers delivered him out of my hands, to the intent I should not do such wickedness in Israel. And now, my children, give ear to the words of truth, that ye may live righteously, and keep the law of the highest, and not go astray through the spirit of hatred, for that is evil in all men's doings. Whatsoever another man doth, that doth the hater mislike and abhor. If one keep the law of the Lord, he praiseth it not. If one fear the Lord, and deal righteously, him he loveth not, but dispraised the truth. He envieth him that ordereth his ways aright. He embraceth backbiting, he loveth scornfulness. And because that hatred hath blinded his mind, he doth to his neighbors, as we did to Joseph. Therefore, my children, keep yourselves from hatred, because it committeth wickedness, even against the Lord. For it will not hear the words of Jehovah's commandment concerning the loving of a man's neighbor, but sinneth spitefully against Jehovah. If a brother offend, by and by it blazeth him abroad, and is hasty to have him condemned and killed, or punished for his offense. And if the offender be a servant or bondman, it accuseth him to his master, and deviseth all means that may be to persecute him, and to put him to death, if it be possible. For hatred worketh with spitefulness, and is always sorry to hear or see men go forward, or prosper in well-doing. For like as love beareth good will even to the dead, and wisheth them alive, and would, if it were possible, stay them from death which are condemned to die, so hatred seeketh to slay the living, and deemeth them unworthy of life, which have offended never so lightly. For the spirit of hatred doth through cankered frowardness of heart work jointly with Satan in all things, even to the death and destruction of men. But the spirit of love doth through long-sufferance work with Jehovah's law to the welfare of men. Hatred is evil, because it abideth with lying, speaking continually against the truth, making a great ado of small matters, overshadowing the light with darkness, counting sweet to be sour, teaching slanderousness, war, wrong, and abundance of all mischief, and finally, filling the heart with devilish poison. My children, I speak these things upon experience, to the intent you should eschew hatred and stick to godly love. Righteousness driveth out hatred, and lowliness killeth it. For a righteous and a lowly person is ashamed to do wrong, not for fear of rebuke, but for conscience sake, because Jehovah seeth his intent. He backbiteth no man, because the fear of the highest overcometh hatred. For the fear of the Lord offendeth not, neither will do any man wrong, no, not even in thought. At length I came to the knowledge of these things, when I had repented me of my dealings towards Joseph. For the true repentance, that is, according to Jehovah's will, mortified a man to obedience, chaseth away darkness, enlighteneth the eyes, giveth knowledge to the mind, and leadeth the soul to salvation. And whatsoever men know not of themselves, that doth repentance teach them. For it brought upon me the pain of the heart, And if my father Jacob's prayers had not been, surely I had died out of hand. For look wherein a man sinneth, by the same he is punished. For as much therefore as my heart was merciless toward Joseph, I suffered God's rigorous justice in my heart by the space of 11 months, that the time of my punishment might fall out even with the time that I urged the selling of Joseph. Now therefore, my children, each of you love his brothers, and put away hatred from your hearts, loving one another in deed, word, and thought of mind. For before my father's face I spake mildly of Joseph, but behind his back the spirit of hatred darkened my understanding, and tempted my mind to kill him. Wherefore love ye one another heartily, and if any of you offend other, tell him of it gently, driving out the poison of hatred and fostering no deceit in heart. And if the offender confess it and be sorry, forgive it him. And if he deny it, strive not with him, lest he fall to swearing, and so sin double. Let no stranger hear you uttering one another's secrets in variance, lest he turn to be your ill-willer, and work some great mischief against you. For he will talk guilefully with thee, and undermine thee to do thee a shrewd turn, taking his poison at thine own hand. Therefore, if he deny it, and be ashamed of it, and hold his peace when he is rebuked, draw him not out, for in denying he repenteth him, so as he will no more offend thee, but honour thee, and fear thee, and be in quiet. But if he be unshamefaced, and abide by his naughtiness, then refer the revengement of it to Jehovah with all thy heart. If another man prosper more than thou, be not grieved at it, but pray for him that he may have perfect prosperity. For peradventure it may be to your own benefit, and if he be exalted more and more, envy him not. But remember that all flesh shall die, and praise Jehovah for it, who giveth good and profitable things to all men. Seek the Lord's judgments, and so thy mind shall let him alone, and be in quiet. Now if a man be enriched by evil means, as Esau my father's brother was, envy him not. For in so doing ye control the Lord, who either taketh away his benefits from the wicked, or leaveth them still to the repentant, or else reserveth them in the unrepentant, to their endless punishment. For the poor man having sufficient of all things, giveth thanks unto the Lord, and is enriched of all men, because men wish him no harm. Therefore, my children, away with hatred out of your hearts, and love one another with a right-meaning mind. Also, will you your children to honor Levi and Judah? For out of them shall the Lord make the Savior of Israel to come. I know that in the end your children shall depart from them, and walk in all manner of mischief, naughtiness, and corruption before the Lord. And after a little pausing he said again, My sons, hear me your father, bury me by my fathers. And so plucking up his feet he slept in peace. And after 5 years they carried him thence, and laid him with his fathers in Hebron. The testament of Asa, made to his children at his death, concerning 2 faces of vice and virtue. The copy of Asa, his testament, and of the things that he spake to his children in the 110th year of his life, being still in health, he said unto them, Ye children of Asa, hearken unto your father, and I will show you all things that are right before the Lord. The Lord hath given 2 ways unto the sons of men, 2 minds, 2 doings, 2 places, and 2 ends, and therefore all ways may be one, yea, though they be contraries, as are the ways of good and evil. Also there are 2 minds in our breasts, which do move us either to honesty or dishonesty. Therefore if a man be led to goodness, all his doings are occupied about righteousness. And if that he do anything amiss, by and by he repenteth him, for inasmuch as his mind is bent unto righteousness, he putteth away naughtiness, and out of hand amendeth his misdeeds, and correcteth the corruptions of his mind. But if his mind incline unto evil, all his doings tend unto naughtiness, insomuch that he thrusteth away the good, and taketh unto him the bad, because he is under the dominion of Belial. And if he do any good thing, he turneth the same unto evil. For if he begin to do any good, he bringeth the end of his doing to an evil work, because the treasure of his heart is infested with the venom of a devilish and mischievous spirit. And therefore the evil overmastereth the good in his mind, and bringeth the end of the thing to naughtiness. Some man showeth compassion upon him that serveth his turn in naughtiness. That man hath 2 faces, and that deed of his is stark lewdness. Another man loveth ungraciousness, and he is lewd likewise. And although he could find in his heart to die for the compassion of this evil, yet it is manifest that he is double-faced, and his doing is altogether stark naught. For his love being but lewdness, doth as it were cloak his evil with a good name, whereas the drift of his doings tendeth unto a wicked end. Another he also doth open wrong, pilleth and polleth, is covetous, and pitieth not the poor. He also hath a double face, and all this is stark naught, for in being niggardly towards his neighbour, he provoketh Jehovah's wrath, and denieth the highest in not pitying the poor. He despiseth and spiteth the Lord, which is the commander of the law. He suffereth not the poor to rest. He defileth his own soul to make his body gay. He killeth many and pitieth few. This is the part of a double-faced person. Another committeth whoredom and fornication, or vexeth many men piteously with his power and riches, and yet abstaineth from meats. His fast is naught, for he doth the commandments with an evil conscience, and that is a double-faced dealing, which is altogether naught. Such manner of folks are right swine and hares, for they seem to be half clean, but in very deed they be utterly unclean. You therefore, my children, become not like them, neither bear ye in one hood two faces, the one of goodness, and the other of naughtiness, but stick all only unto goodness. For in goodness doth Jehovah rest, and men like well of it. Shun naughtiness, and kill the devil in your good works. For they that are double-faced serve not Jehovah, but their own lusts, because they seek to please Belial, and such as are like themselves. Now, though plain-dealing men, and such as pretend but one face, are taken for offenders at the hands of such as bear two faces, yet are they righteous before Jehovah. For many in killing wicked persons do two works at once, namely good by evil. But indeed the whole work is good, because that he which hath rooted out the evil hath destroyed it. Some man hating his neighbour, unmercifully blameth him for his adultery or theft. Such a one is double-faced. But yet is the whole work good, because he followeth the Lord's example, not respecting what seemeth good when it is evil indeed. Another will not make merry with rioters, lest he should be stained by them, and defile his own soul. This man also is double-faced, but yet is all his doings good, and he is like a roe or a stag, which in a common wild herd seem to be unclean, and yet are altogether clean, because he walketh in the zeal of the Lord, shunning and hating those whom Jehovah willeth to be shunned in his commandments, and so killeth the evil with well-doing. See therefore, my sons, how there are two in all things, one against the other, and the one hidden under the other. Death succeedeth to life, shame to glory, night to day, and darkness unto light. All righteous things are under life and light. Therefore doth eternal life overmaster death. It is not to be said that truth is untruth, righteousness unrighteousness, or right wrong, because that as all things are under Jehovah, so all truth is under light. I have practiced all these things in my life, and not strayed from the truth of the Lord, but sought out the commandments of the highest, to the uttermost of my power, and walketh with one face in goodness. Take heed therefore, my children, to Jehovah's commandments, and follow the truth with one single face. For they that are double-faced shall be double punished. The spirit of error hateth the man that fighteth against it. Keep the law of the Lord, and regard not evil that seemeth good, but have an eye to the thing that is good indeed, and keep the same, returning to the Lord in all his commandments, and resting upon him. For the ends whereat men do aim, do show their righteousness, and know the angels of the Lord from the angels of Satan. For if you cleave to wicked spirits, your souls shall be tormented of the wicked spirit whom ye serve in wicked lusts and works. But if ye quietly and cheerfully acquaint yourselves with the angel of peace, he shall comfort you in your lifetime. My children, become not like the Sodomites, which knew not the angel, and perished forever. For I am sure that you shall sin, and be delivered into the hands of your enemies. Your land shall be laid waste, and yourselves shall be scattered into the four corners of the earth, and be despised as unprofitable water in your dispersing abroad, until the highest do visit the earth, eating and drinking as a man, with men, and breaking the serpent's head in pieces without noise. He shall save Israel and all the heathen by water, being God hidden in man. Therefore tell your children these things, that they neglect not Jehovah's law written in the tables of heaven. For the time will come that they shall give no credit to the law of the Lord, and you, falling into naughtiness, shall deal wickedly against Jehovah, giving no heed to his law, but unto men's commandments. For this cause shall ye be scattered abroad, as my brothers Gad and Dan, which were not acquainted with their own country, tribe, and tongue. Nevertheless the Lord shall gather you together again in faith, for the hope of his mercy, for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's sake. When he had so said, he commanded them to bury him in Hebron. And he died, sleeping a good sleep. And afterward his sons, doing as he had willed them, carried him back, and buried him with his fathers.